be Pacific Northwest. So we did Seattle, Portland, Oregon, another Pacific Northwest. Absolutely loved it. And then from there, we drove to Cannon Beach, which is Goonies, if you know the movies Goonies. And I think also Cannon Beach is in the Twilight series. But that's not my jam. But Goonies is like one of my top favorite movies since I was a little kid. I used to watch it, rewind it, watch it, rewind it, watch it all the time. I'm gonna tell you, when I saw that beach, when I saw the Pacific Northwest beach for the first time, and I saw Cannon Beach, that was the first time I saw it, I screamed like a little kid. Like, something about that kind of a beach just hit me different. And I'm like, yes, this is like, this beach speaks to me. And then we did like Ecola Park, I think it's called Ecola Park, which is right next to Cannon Beach. And I was just in absolute heaven. New Orleans was fun. That was back in my drinking days, and I did not go during Mardi Gras, but it was fun, although I was hungover the whole time. New Orleans does have a scent to it, but after like the first 2 days, you're kind of normalized to it. It's just the scent of, like, I mean, it's a lot. If I had to describe it, it would be animalistic or animalic. There's just a lot of like urine smells and maybe vomit, beer type smells. But that just, it's like, think of like a dive bar. Think of like, you know, a gross dive bar. And that's kind of like these bars are really old and they've been through a lot. So they kind of just like waved through the air. And I just think it's part of like the vibe. Like, you know, just get used to it, get over it. But the food in New Orleans, some of the best stuff I ever ate was in New Orleans too. San Diego, we did San Diego last summer because my sister got married in San Diego. So that is like the perfect summer weather. It's not like how you picture parts of California being so hot. No, there's like a nice breeze. It was perfect, and we did it in June of last year. Colorado, which I've been going to Colorado since I was a kid. My mom lives outside of Denver, so I've been there well, now she didn't used to. I had other relatives that lived there, but so we do Aurora, Denver, and then we go up into the mountains. I can't remember all the names of the mountain towns, but like Estes Park is up there, Colorado Springs, all those. But I get altitude sickness, so that's what sucks. My mom's actually moving to Florida soon, so I mean, my Colorado days might be over. We'll see. South Carolina. My dad lived in South Carolina, so I've been there a few times near the Greenville area. Greenville was actually really hip. I was really surprised. So we did Greenville, and then we do just kind of like we did a zoo out there. And we mostly just sat around his place and stuff. So that is where I have traveled that I can think of. Oh no, Minnesota, because I took the 3 oldest kids when they were little again. I took them to the Mall of America, drove them to the Mall of America, and from where I was at the time, that was like Chicagoland, so it was about an 8-hour drive. And it is asking a lot of 3 kids to sit there and behave themselves for 8 hours in the back of the car. I get that, but also you're like, I'm really just doing this for you guys, so can you please years for 5 years of